Violent crime spans all corners of our region, but local law enforcement are taking a new approach. I spoke to St. Louis County's police chief about his battle to recruit new staff and how to keep up with the demanding calls from our communities.
The vision is simply just to be recognized by the community and law enforcement professionals as one of the best in the nation.
St. Louis County Police Chief Juan, new at the helm since June, is laying out his priorities and what people can expect first. Top of the list, recruitment, because staffing impacts everything from response times to visibility in neighborhoods. Cox says the department has been short about 100 officers for the last 2 to 3 years, a challenge facing departments nationwide as they struggle to recruit and retain. He believes the county must compete.
We have to change the way we market ourselves. It's very competitive. You know, most police departments are short-staffed, so we have to do things differently. And you can be a pilot, you can be a K-9 officer, an undercover detective, a homicide detective. We have everything a young person would want.
What would you say is the top threat facing St. Louis County right now, and how do you plan to address it?
Well, I think, crime is down, but crime is down pretty much everywhere overall. For me right now, just thinking about the contemporary issues that we've been dealing with, is the teen takeovers, the slideshows, but a lot of these just start out as gatherings that turn into mass gatherings that turn into disturbances.
Cox says these unplanned gatherings can pull officers from other calls, impacting public safety around the county.
We're seeing these teen takeovers not only here, but around the country. In terms of parents, do you want them held accountable if their teens are out at these gatherings?
Yes, but I think we're at the point now where what we're going to do now is just say it's a curfew violation or we have an interaction with a juvenile. We're going to bring them in. Obviously, we'll call the parent or guardian. We're going to give the parent or guardian a letter and let them know that we had this interaction. And the next time, if there is a next time that we encounter this juvenile again, then we will be holding the parent or guardian accountable.
I also asked about the people who say these teen takeovers happen because teens don't have anything to do.
I do believe that there are things out there for teens. I do believe that most teens are doing positive things like you and I did. And then you have some outliers that may misbehave, that create a problem for us.
What's your stance on releasing critical information quickly so that the public feels as though you all are being transparent?
You know, I would rather have it right than right now. So, like as a new chief, I've been being very careful in letting the investigations, run their course.
And St. Louis County is a vast area that you all cover. But in terms of people in the areas they live, how do you ensure that you all are dispersing resources properly to make sure that people are getting the fair amount of law enforcement in their areas?
Absolutely. Gotta be data driven. We go to where the crime is, and we will be more data driven in the future. We have a research and analysis unit that compile all of those statistics that tells us, hey, you should be going there.
The goal is to get resources to the right places without leaving other neighborhoods behind.
I'm really big on high visibility. I think high visibility reduces crime. You gotta have police officers either on foot or in cars constantly going through these neighborhoods. And I think because that has been a focus for many years, you don't see as many police officers running traffic. You see them mostly just driving around and answering radio calls. But I would like to see more of an effort when it comes to traffic enforcement.
He says that's part of what safety looks like on the street. More visibility and more proactive enforcement when staffing allows. As we stated, your community plays a huge role in helping solve violence and prevent future crimes. What programs do you want to see? How could leaders help you accomplish that? Email us at forward@firstalertfor.com.